Welcome to Timeout with Dustin Sullivan, a Can-Do Group production. Can-Do Group is a nonprofit organization serving the needs of adults with developmental disabilities. Today's guest is Charlie Ernst, a native of Minster, Ohio. He is entering his 12th season with the Oiler men's basketball program and has been voted GMAC's Coach of the Year in 2017, 2018, and 2019. Take it away, Dustin.
What got you into coaching?
Boy, that's an interesting question because that was not my plan. I was an athlete most of my life. Played basketball here at the University of Findlay for Ron Niekamp for 4 years. In my senior year, he asked me if I'd be interested in sticking around and being one of his assistant coaches. And I hadn't really thought about myself as a coach, at least not a college basketball coach. So all credit goes to Coach Niekamp because he saw something in me that I think Charlie would make a really good coach. And he happened to be looking for a coach. I happened to be finishing up my time as a player. The rest is history.
Oh, being a coach is a lot easier than being a basketball player. Less wear and tear.
Well, that's for sure. I tell people this all the time, Dustin, that I'm a lot better, and I'm not even saying I'm a good coach, but I'm a lot better coach than I was a player. But I think that helps me as a coach because I tell our players all the time, I think the guys that, for coaches that are the most delicate to handle as a coach are the ones that don't play a big role on the team.
That's the kind of people I like.
Yeah, and they're maybe some of the most important players on the team. I relate a lot better to those players than I do the star players.
It makes sense.
Because that's what I was.
Yeah.
So, I feel like that's helped me as a coach, coaching those key guys that are maybe in basketball 8, 9, and 10 on your team.
Awesome. What's your favorite restaurant, all-time restaurant?
Oh, my. Boy, that's a tough one. I'm going to have to go the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, Cheesecake Factory. They have the best cheesecake in the world.
I like cheesecake, but they have a great menu, too.
It's a little expensive, but good food.
Yeah, I don't eat there a lot.
It's fun when you go in there on special occasions. So, what's your favorite all-time television show?
I'll probably give you an answer, and then I'll be driving out of here, Dustin, and I'll say that was the right answer. When you're 53 years old, you start to come up with things that you liked a lot when you were a kid, and maybe when you were a young adult, and now when I'm an older adult, I don't watch as much TV now as I used to, so I'm going to have to turn back the clock a little bit and probably say King of Queens.
That was a good show.
I liked Friends when it was on. I still like to watch those episodes even though they're older, so I'd say those two.
It's kind of hard to watch stuff when you got a lot of things to do. There's other stuff to do.
That's right.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Minster, Ohio, which is about an hour and 20 minutes south of here. And it's a small town, so I grew up in a small town. I come from a family with 5 boys, just enough to make a basketball team.
That's awesome. It seems like all the littler towns are more exciting.
Well, I love where I grew up. I tell people that all the time, that growing up in Minster was one of the most important parts of my life. It's kind of what gave me the background in who I am and the way I do things. And so all credit goes to not only my parents, but my grandparents. And really, they say it takes a village to create a person. And I truly believe that. And I think that was the case with me.
That's sweet. So what are your hobbies on your free time?
Well, I almost told you this, Dustin, when we came in and had some small talk before we jumped on the air. But probably my favorite hobby is one that your uncle or cousin Don and I share.
Yeah.
And So we actually have more in common than you think. And so my favorite hobby outside of coaching and sports is dirt track racing.
Yep, I love dirt. He loves his dirt track.
He does, and I see him at the races once in a while.
He goes to all of them.
He does.
He's a funny guy, too. So, what's your dream vacation spot? If you had ever had a dream to go somewhere.
Well, fortunately, I've been blessed in that my job has taken me to a lot of places. But ironically enough, two of the places I've never been in the United States that I would like to go to are Hawaii and California.
I would love to go to Hawaii.
I've been to all 49 states, or 48 states. Those are the two I haven't been to.
That's impressive.
And but probably my dream vacation would be to take my family back to Africa. We have a son that we adopted 2 years ago from Africa, and we really fell in love with the country. It's a big country, so when you say Africa, I'm not sure exactly where I would like to go back to, but probably to spend a week or two in Africa.
I would love to visit Africa. It'd be kind of cool to go there.
It's a neat place, a lot of great people. You develop a mindset about what something is in your own mind, and a lot of times when you get there, it's not what you think.
Yeah.
And I would say that's true with Africa.
It's pretty cool. We have a boss at work that she's originally from South Africa. So it's kind of cool to learn the culture.
It is. And I was reasonably close to South Africa. I was in East Africa when we visited. We spent a week, my wife and I, a week in Burundi, a little country where our son's from, and a week in Kenya. And but it was just my wife and I, and it was all business because we were there to get our son, so we didn't have a whole lot of time to play. So I'd like to go back when the focus is on family and vacation.
That's
and
awesome.
Not something else.
I don't mean to ask, but what's your son's name?
His name is Roger.
I like that name.
Yeah.
Roger Staubach.
There you go.
What's your favorite color? I would hope it would be.
Well, I better say orange, right?
Yeah, you should. What's your most memorable game you ever coached?
The national championship game in 2009.
I forgot you were an assistant coach with. That was the year they went undefeated.
That is. I was an assistant coach at Findlay for 19 years before I became the head coach. So,
that's awesome.
But I would say my top 3 games, memorable games, would be in this order. That game, the game we beat Ohio State the year before that.
I remember that.
And then the game we played at Duke the year after the national championship game.
That's pretty cool to beat Duke.
Yeah, we didn't beat them, but we did.
Close.
We our goal in that game, Dustin, was to make Coach Krzyzewski coach for 60 minutes,
That's awesome.
or actually 40 minutes, and he had to, so that we accomplished our goal. They won the national championship that year, so
that.
there was no shame in losing to Duke.
I'm a Ohio State fan, but that was still pretty cool that you guys beat us.
Yeah.
I liked that year when they went undefeated. They had some good players that year.
Yes,
You'll
we
never
did.
see anything like that ever again.
I don't think so. I agree with that.
Since our time is almost up, we need to finish up with one last question, Charlie.
You bet.
Do you consider a hot dog a sandwich?
Of course.
Thank you for taking the time for 15 minutes with Dustin Sullivan. It was nice to getting to know you. And we hope everyone else enjoyed getting to know a little about you too. That's all, folks.
Hey, thanks a lot. It was a pleasure being on.
Can Do Group provides opportunities and experiences for adults with developmental disabilities. This can only happen with the support of area businesses and community members like you. Thank you. For more information, contact www.candogroup.org.